we're here.
Hey yo. Hey
Joel,
yo.
we made it. It's 2023. How do you
Did
feel
make
in the
it
future?
better.
Better?
Better. How about you, Brian? How you feeling in the new year already?
You know, I I got responsible. I I went to the dentist today. I got my teeth clean. Had a nice cleaning done. And just also just kind of surviving the rain because
Oh yeah.
for those of you who know, we are California boys, and we're swimming the atmospheric river, as they call it.
Cyclone baby.
But you know what? That's fine because you're here on the United Nerd podcast, where we talk about anything and everything nerd related. Of course,
Yeah.
I am Brian. That is my co-host Joel.
It's me.
Um, so yeah, this is the first podcast of 2023,
Hell yeah.
and it's only been 13 days into the new year, and a lot of
Shit.
shit has happened
Yeah.
since we took our break.
Yeah, you
Um,
say that.
so I'm trying to figure out how we want to go about this because first podcast of the year, we're just kind of getting our gears loose again, just kind of getting back into the rhythm. So I want to kind of keep it. I want to keep it light, but I know we have to talk about a few things. Um,
Yeah.
so I guess before we do that, um,
Would you do that?
Joel, how was your break? How how was it?
It's good. For me, I work in education, so I had 2 weeks off. So that's a good thing about that. For those who work in education, we know how hard it is. So we need that 2 week break. And for everyone else who had to work, sorry, I always feel bad. But work with that machine. It was good though. There was a friends miss. We had it's pretty fun. Did a lot of gaming. Let's see. I mean, a lot happened. It's a lot to remember.
Well,
For me,
well, sorry, I want to kind of put you on a track.
I
You finally beat Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
was just about to get to that.
I don't
Yeah.
know if we brought it up in our last podcast, but we haven't actually gotten to like have a full conversation about it.
Oh no, we
So,
haven't, huh?
so I want to ask you this question, Joel.
Hell yeah, loved it.
How, you you love the game. How did you feel about the three branching storylines?
I think that was an interesting feature. When I didn't, they some of it was intersecting. There was some overlap. I didn't realize I finished one storyline until literally one of your companions says it was an odyssey to behold, and there was a pan out and everything. I was like,
Yeah,
oh fuck, I just beat a storyline. It was nice though. It was a good storyline. When I finished, I was like, oh wait, literally, if you finish out one early, the other character you play as, her name is Layla, because I chose to play as Cassandra. She's like, oh, I should see what else Cassandra did, hinting, hey, you're not done. And the fact that your character you play, who plays another character, also very meta. The more I think about it, like, wow. Um, which I don't know if we brought it up last time, but having Layla, who is going into the Animus, meet Cassandra was mind blowing for me.
right.
That was really cool. They actually met their like ancestor, and ancestor met descendant. That's fucking sick. Like
Because
that was really cool. That blew my mind.
it's interesting because of course, like if anybody out there, if you haven't played Odyssey yet and you like Assassin's Creed games, at least the modern ones, I mean, you should probably go play it. Um, Obviously, we already threw out a bunch of big spoilers, but hey, it's a very old game at this point.
I'm
Sorry.
surprised I wasn't spoiled for some of those things.
It's become more of a trend recently where a lot of games, I feel like if a game isn't memeable, it doesn't get spoiled. And depending on what
Sure.
is memeable is how bad or how good the game is. Like if the game is like middle of the road, then I feel like a lot of people have more meme potential in it, but if it's like a really good game, I feel like it's not spoiled as much, or at least it's not as easy to spoil. Um, but I wanted to ask you, or I wanted to ask you about so the staff that you get is a piece of
Hell
Eden,
yeah.
and the holder gets immortality pretty much. And you mentioned
As
it
long as they're
before,
holding it, yeah.
and you mentioned it. Cassandra had pretty much been holding on to it since until modern day, and you have Layla meet Cassandra. Um, I thought it was an interesting touch, um, and I thought it was really interesting that they actually like made it a thing where the staff also makes it possible for you to translate in any language. Because you notice when Cassandra hands off the staff, she starts speaking in very old Greek. And like even they were saying it's like, oh yeah, this is like very old. This is like not even like people from Greece speak this anymore. It was like so old. But like what came across your mind when you realized, oh shit, Cassandra's been alive this whole time? In every Assassin's Creed game, she's been alive this whole time.
I just thought it was wild she was even there. Like I was so mind blown. But it's crazy. She could have been so involved and not like that. Like that gives like I think more room to do fun stuff in the future with her if they really want to. With that potential. But yeah, that was nice touch, really cool. You know, if you haven't played it before and you haven't played Origins, I would honestly start with Origins first because Odyssey is more of that a grindier way. I didn't find it grindy because I haven't played it. Last time I played Assassin's Creed game was Origins, and that was like 2 years after it came out. So I was like heavily invested, heavily going.
Mhm.
Um, there's so much to do. Ridiculous. Like there is no shortage of what you can do, and I took my time with the story, and I like near the end, I was like, okay, I want to finish up to move on, and there was still way more to go,
Oh
but
yeah.
in the best way because I was invested in the story. But um, yeah, it was a good time.
I I saw some of your TikToks and you actually were able to find some of the side quests that are just silly and dumb.
One was
Um
definitely memeable, let me tell you.
so you saw the mission where the lady thought that she had Pegasus. I
Yeah.
saw that.
Fly,
Um
Pegasus, fly.
you saw the guy who set himself on fire.
Had Ajax's helmet.
Mhm.
Not really.
Not really.
Really.
Um do you plan on like going through the rest of the game and trying to do as much as you can out of it?
Um, I'm pretty much done. I did do the big mythical boss battles. I made a point to make sure to do those, and at least 4 out of 5 of them I did.
Okay.
There was like a Cyclops fight that was pretty dope. Actually, there were two of them that are pretty cool. One had this mechanic where if you're fighting him in the water, he actually does like a ground pound and water comes out and hurts you, which I thought was pretty cool. Um, yeah, the first Cyclops fight was pretty dope. You like do extra damage, you shoot him in the eye too.
Mm.
The cutscene, the guy saying, "I'm here in the lair of the gods. I'm immortal." Smack, you know, and he's
Yep.
like, "Oh fuck!" And then like, boom, you're in. That was cool. Um, Minotaur fight was dope. I'm just surprised again, like that wasn't spoiled for me. Like I knew there was a Minotaur fight, but not what he looked like, how the fight was. There was a phase two, you know. It was dope. So that was pretty cool.
What'd you think of the Medusa
Then
fight?
I was just about to get to Medusa. Dude, I loved the Medusa fight. It was fun. It was different. People were saying they hated it. I honestly, I've played some grindy ass boss fights, and I thought it was. I could see why though. It could be hella annoying for
So
sure.
my
The
lead up.
whole hiding behind mechanic. She turns you to stone. She
Mhm.
sends waves of enemies after you. It's by design hella annoying, but
So my lead up to that was how many attempts and how long did the final one take?
Dusa
Yeah.
one time.
Really?
Minotaur, actually, I died once.
Wow.
The
Okay.
Cyclops once. Shout out to the Valkyrie fight for preparing me for any fight ever. But also, I was pretty over leveled, I feel, for that fight. I took my
Okay.
time getting there. Yeah, and also I was just having fun. It wasn't stressful. I stressed myself out with the Valkyrie fights that made it worse.
Yeah.
But Deuce only took one time.
That's good.
I was happy to do that
Shit,
one
I
time.
think that the Medusa fight took me like 5 times.
I don't blame you, dude. That shit was whoo.
But also,
Um,
I was at the point where I was trying to like get through the game, and so I probably was like maybe just at level, so it probably made it a little bit harder for me.
I definitely relied heavily on the healing for sure. There's like a self
Well,
heal.
yeah, it's the
I was
self heal
crutching on
is
it. I'm not.
always a must have for that.
That changed the fight. There's like legendary beasts you fight. That changed fighting legendary beasts for me like instantly. My first legendary beast I fought, I didn't have the self heal. I was like getting my ass kicked. It was this boar that summoned other boars. Oh god, it was rough. And then I got the self heal and had to manage that, and then boom, done.
Yeah, the the Minotaur I felt was pretty okay. It definitely wasn't as like difficult because I feel like if you fought a lot of animals, like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Minotaur is probably like pretty simple because it had kind of the same kind of pattern. He was just charging at you and then
yeah.
uses his fucking weapon and shit.
Got too greedy. That's what killed me.
What
I
did
was
you
like, fuck.
think of the fact that that all of the creatures were actually just pieces of Eden?
That was a cool twist. The first time you kill a Minotaur and you see it like kind of reaching for you, it fades in the PC. And I was like, what? Just a nice reincorporation of like the mythical tale and what the pieces of Eden do. That was cool. Like I'm all on board with that. And I know I posted some stuff and one guy was like, remember when Assassin's Creed wasn't mythical and stuff? And I was just like, bro. Like
I mean, yeah, but like if you see in the context, like mythical in Assassin's Creed is just basically, hey, look at this first civilization stuff that made people believe in this, you know. But
fighting a holy pope is totally super powered pope,
and his
was
son,
totally realistic,
and his son.
you know. So, but God forbid a fucking horn monster powered by the PC too. But
The
that was cool. That was cool.
so I want to ask you, what what order did you finish the three main stories in?
I did the main exploration story first, where Cassandra finds out their parentage, their history,
Okay.
and what's the future holds. The second one was the Cult of the Cosmos. Basically, the big bads of the whole series are the blueprint for the Templars, essentially, right? They're moving in the shadows. They're trying to sow dissent and chaos in the bad way. And then the family arc I finished last, where she
Interesting.
confronts Alexios. And I made it. I chose very hard. I made all the choices to keep that family together, no matter what. And that was, whew, it was cool seeing some people come back to like your fake father, right? He I actually didn't kill him, and then he comes back, and then he has a son that tries to seek revenge for what you did, and later because you didn't kill him, it can bring the family together. And then your own brother, that boss fight was fucking annoying, but I didn't die. But
Oh,
this was annoying fighting Alexios on the warfield. Whew, that was
oh.
annoying as
So
fuck.
let me ask you, did you kill Alexios?
Did not.
Ah,
Kept the
you
family
kept the
together.
family together.
And kept the whole family
Nice.
together. I had them all on the boat the last time I
I did the
played.
same fucking thing.
Whole
It's
fucking
great.
family on the boat. Let's go.
Dude, they're a unit. Like if you have combats on like your boat, they handle everything. It's great.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, I kind of did the same thing except swap the family and the cult. I did the cult last. Um Personally, I kind of wish that they made it so the main one you had to do last. Because
Yeah,
at least for me, like seeing like the actual ending of the game and then going back is like, oh, you still have two story things to finish. I'm like,
yeah.
okay, cool.
I think I agree. It would have been more impactful, I think. Like, this has been a great Odyssey after everything you've done, and Layla's like, I'm ready for the next adventure. That would have been like,
Yeah.
I think, pretty good. But it was more choose your own adventure style kind of game, so
Yeah.
yeah, that's why it was.
Well, cool. I'm glad you liked it.
Hell yeah.
I do have give you one
Yeah, spit it,
suggestion.
Jay.
You can take it if you want. There is a free epilogue in Odyssey that pays off later in a special crossover mission in Valhalla.
Fuck. All right.
It's not like it's not really like a big one. It's I'd say if you like suck in like maybe like 2 hours or so into it, you can probably get it done. But it's a free it was a free little kind of ending quest, and it kind of has like a nice little wrap up for like showing what Cassandra did after, Odyssey.
That's pretty cool.
How did she start her journey like exploring kind of the world and shit.
It's pretty cool.
So suggest that before you get into Valhalla if you want to.
And I
Or
was just gonna dive into Valhalla soon.
but yeah, dude. Glad you liked it.
Oh yeah. Old
Valhalla
but
soon.
gold. Old but gold.
Literally all of them are gold right now because of the anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, anything else that you did during your break?
Well, I'm trying to think. There's probably a bunch of stuff. This always happens. Something cool happens. I forget to write down. Just played. Just played. There's this miniature game that our buddy Nate came back from Seattle's in the Bay Area. It's called Crisis Protocol. I've been playing that more with him. You get like little Marvel heroes. You have them fight each other, villains. So I've been playing more of that. It's been fun. We did like he has like a Thanos game mode, and I've lost twice to Thanos. He keeps kicking my ass.
I mean, it's
It's fun.
Thanos,
I just
so
want to fucking win. I used like the Web Warriors, like Spider-Man, Spider-Gwen, Venom.
mhm.
The second time I used the Spider Foes, like the Lizard, Doc Ock, and stuff.
Oh.
And yeah, it was just it's tough, man. He has the thing where you can just like beam himself in front of your team and just start wailing on him, and then he's invincible. You got to do a mechanic first. Like, oh god damn
That
it.
sounds like
But,
Thanos.
yeah, it is. It's like, ah, yeah.
Yeah, I even saw that you even started getting some of the figures for it.
Yep, got Moon Knight and Blade. Next will
Hey.
be Agent Venom and Spider Woman, and then Beta Ray Bill and Uluk.
Oh, they
So that'll
actually are doing those ones?
hell yeah,
Oh.
my favorite group right there. Um, because the cyclone, because of the bomb cyclone, and all that storm, I was actually with Marcelo for New Year's. We stayed over after Friendsmas, but the storm was so bad, and we saw 4 accidents. So we saw a movie with them,
Oh.
which I'll talk about in a second. But um, we were on the road and we were going to go help our friend move, right? And she's like, we should not go. We saw 4 accidents. I was like, I really
Mm.
want to help our friends, but yeah, it's not safe. And it's funny because Marcelo was talking to his wife, Emma, in the car. They're like, they should stay with us. So, and we just ended up staying with them another day because it was that bad. Like, it
Yeah,
wasn't safe. And
it
all
got
the flooding and shit where we
oh yeah.
were. Oh,
Yeah,
but
it got pretty bad.
we did get to see the way of water though. So the literal way of water, we lived it for a fucking couple days.
Did you actually
I
go to a
will say,
theater?
yes, we sat for 3 hours and 10 minutes
Oh my
and
god.
saw the way of water. Um, just a quick summary. Yes, at times a technical marvel. That's it. That is it. That's it. That's it.
That's as much as you can handle.
I'm being harsh too, but yeah, it's better than the first. Um, honestly won't be the same on a regular screen. I hate to say that. See it on
See,
matinee.
that's like the thing. It's like you try to push so hard for like being like the most technological movie, but you don't realize is that all that technology is not going to be useful in like the home viewing experience.
Yeah,
And I know James Cameron's been on this thing is like everybody needs to go back to the theater. It's like yeah, but for three, I know we've done it before with Endgame and shit like that, but like for Avatar,
the game had 10 years to set up and payoff, Avatar was waiting
See,
13 years for something.
see, I don't think it was like the fact that it took so long to make this movie. The
He's
fact
just
that
waiting for
the
technology
fact
to
that
improve.
James Cameron had the gumption to actually say it's like, hey, if you need to go to the bathroom, just go to the bathroom. You can go watch it again. It's like, not for $16 a ticket. We're not. Fuck that shit.
Mm,
I'll wait until it comes on
mm.
Disney Plus. Fuck you. I'll
Um,
pay my $100 a year for fucking Disney Plus.
yeah. There are some cool things, cool ideas. Zoe Saldana and Sam Worthington, they do their thing. They do it great. The young cast does a great job. Yeah, just if you're curious and you really enjoy movies, it is like a movie, I guess, to see on a big screen. Like there's again, like I said, there's no other way to see it, unfortunately. That's all I can say. I was trying to be fair and not like tear it down.
So now that you've seen Way of Water, are you gonna be ready for the next element? the,
I
the
guess.
the the Fire Nation of Avatar?
Yeah, I think it's Earth Nation, then Fire Nation, but
No,
whatever.
they said Fire's for next.
It better not be 3 hours. I'm just, oh
Oh, you know it's gonna be.
God.
He needs to pump in as much reasons to have like new technology. Well, you know what? You two went the distance, and you sat through it. And the important thing is, I didn't have to. Like to be honest, like I probably would have like been entertained enough, but I mean, like, come on, dude. Like, I'm not that into Avatar to watch it for 3 hours.
There is story. There is some layered story, but
Yeah, but when the last time I saw the first one was 13 years ago.
yeah, I mean, I'm pretty biased too. I mean, I'm gonna have way more fun talking about something else coming up soon. Other than that, yeah, just started Far Cry 6. I've really been enjoying that. I'm
Oh
big on
yeah.
the Far Cry. Um, People, it's like mixed responses online. If I always find like I like the games, people are like unsure about, but
Hmm.
it's fun. I think I'm nearing the end of that. Good job, Giancarlo Esposito, off Gideon himself, being a good villain. Of course, as the hero you play in your cast, it's just good, relevant.
Nice.
Um, uh, After that, I'm finally gonna hit Horizon. Then,
Oh, okay.
yeah, and then one of my sister's boyfriend got me Need for Speed Unbound. I haven't played a racing game forever. I'm gonna have fun playing a racing game. So
Need for
it's gonna
Speed
be great.
Unbound. When was?
Just came out recently.
Oh, was the new one?
It's a new one.
Ah, cool, cool.
I think that's it. Just yeah, I didn't buy Valhalla on sale, dumb me. But
That'll be it. It'll be another sale.
yeah,
Don't worry
and
about
then
it.
it's God of War on the menu. I might just get it for PS4. I mean,
Get
do
Ragnarok.
that. I don't care.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey, I
exactly. Sorry,
heard.
five. That's what I meant. Five.
Or just get a PS5.
One of our clanmates in Destiny just shared he got a God of War Ragnarok PS5 for $600, and it's coming in tomorrow for him. And I'm like, oh fuck, could have been me.
So,
That could have been me.
Sony did say that there should be more availability now, or soon at least. Um, Last time I went to Best Buy, I did see a PS5 in the back, through the swinging doors. I saw a PS5, like, ooh, someone's waiting for that boy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, dude, like if if you really want like the PS4 version, I heard is actually very serviceable for Ragnarok. Like they did a good job of making it work. But I don't blame you for waiting for a PS5 to get that first, because goddamn does it look fucking pretty on the PS5.
I also just gotta say, if I didn't say it before, I'll refrain from repeating myself. I don't care. Getting a Series X and having Odyssey go from 30 FPS to 60. Oh my fucking god! It
It's
was
nice,
already
isn't it?
pretty to me, and it was so clean. I think that's what drew me in too. It was so clean and beautiful, having like this I new or current gen software, you know? I was like blown away. Same for like even when I was playing Destiny, I was playing some Gambit today, and I was like, God damn, this game still looks good. You know, I still can't shake it. Before we get into some big stuff, Brian, what about you? How was your break? What'd you do?
You know, it was all right. I I tried to play through games. I finally beat the story for Pokemon Scarlet. Um, I'd say out of the more recent modern Pokemon games, I felt like this one had a more cohesive story to it and a lot more it had a lot more feeling in it. The characters were cool. The stories actually ended up developing into something very like, oh wow, Pokemon's actually making me like feel things. It's weird. I don't understand what's going on. So yeah, now I'm just kind of going through like the post game grind. There's some post game activities that you can do. I'm trying to get my way to unlock level 7 raids so I can access those whenever they come out on the weekends. Um, I started Miles Morales finally.
You did.
I told you a little bit about
Yes, you
that, but I
did.
played a little bit more of it, and fuck, is it great? Especially on PS5, dude. I'm so glad I
Oh,
waited.
dude.
It's
Bet it
it's a
looks beautiful on
fantastic. It
PS5. It looked fucking good on PS4, bro. I can only imagine how it feels on a PS5. I can only imagine.
slap that baby in performance mode, dude. Ooh, it feels tight. Um, but yeah, really good. I love the story so far. It's a nice like little story. Um, to kind of have Miles come into his own a little bit as a Spider-Man. Um,
Oh,
the
Brian, before you go further,
oh,
were you taken aback when they showed the new Peter Parker's face, having played the other Spider-Man game before?
so legit, I actually forgot for a second that they changed it for this game, and then I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I think their reasoning for changing the face was the stupidest reasoning in the world, and I don't see why the first original face had a problem. But we're here now. It is what it is. Gotta live with it. I still don't like the fact that Miles looks older now for some because of it, but you know, the the mechanics work perfectly like it did in the last game. The Venom stuff actually is really cool. I like how they implemented it, where it's only like an extra like single button, but it activates like this list of other abilities you can use, and the combat mechanics using the Venom is actually really cool. I just like the basic forward punch with like the move, and then having the ability to kind of upgrade those, and then you know maybe have the draw distance of the punch be a little bit longer, or like you can use your Venom abilities to use it as like a special jumping mechanic. Where in the first game, like Peter Parker had the extra like boost jump, where Miles kind of has this like one where he like shoots up in the air and makes like a shock wave that shoots out, and it's like, oh, that's kind of sick. I recently just got the invisibility powers though.
Hell yeah, dude.
Those are fun.
Woo!
Those are
Fun.
super fun. Like I remember in the first game, I would try to be sneaky and then I get caught. And then it's like, all right, I guess I'm just gonna beat the shit out of these people. Where now I can be like, oh no, I'm caught. Turn
Yeah.
invisible, run away, and then keep fucking with people, like using stealth takedowns and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um, I've just unlocked it, so I haven't been able to kind of mess around with any upgrades or whatnot. So I'm still working with that, but so far it's been really fun. I do kind of like that they made different side quests um in this game. I was kind of worried that they're gonna kind of just use the same kind of side quest mechanics from the first game, and then kind of just like maybe paint it a little bit differently and just like put a little skin on it. But these ones are different. The training sim ones are actually really cool because it's like, oh, it's a side quest that gets you like tech points, but also kind of helps you kind of train a little bit
Yeah, yeah,
without making it feel like a tutorial. It's like, oh, that's nice.
yeah.
It's pretty sweet. Um, the the Tinker. Oh, I probably shouldn't talk about the Tinkerer, but or at least the identity of the Tinkerer. But the reveal of the Tinkerer was actually really interesting. And I
Yep.
kind of saw it coming, but it was still kind of like oh, okay, they actually did a good job with it. And so far what I've found out, like the reasonings kind of behind it, I'm like, okay, I can see where they're going here. It's not like a pure evil thing. Um, but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to playing that more and finishing it, and then hopefully here soon a release date for two. That'd be nice.
Hopefully,
Hopefully.
hopefully that's the bundle I want. That is the bundle.
um, Joel, I mean, you said it yourself. You didn't take advantage of the sale this holiday, but I did, and I purchased Cyberpunk
Oh
2077.
yeah, that's right. You opened a Cyberpunk.
I finally took the plunge and tried to jump in, and I'll be honest, I haven't played much of it yet because I had two sit downs with it, and then I started playing Miles Morales. So far, my early impressions of Cyberpunk, I haven't really run into any major issues, at least the ones that came out at launch with it. The I might have seen like maybe a few people kind of clip into things a little bit, but it wasn't anything severe. Um, so I've never played anything from um, CD Projekt Red. So I don't know if it's like resembles anything like The Witcher or any other, game like that. Um, but it feels all right. Um, at least when I first started playing, it kind of felt a little. It was weird. Like, when was the last time? Like, do you remember ever playing like a Grand Theft Auto? Like what was like the recent like time you've like had your hands on like a Grand Theft Auto game?
Dude. Decades.
Okay,
It's been
well
a
I'll
while.
try to explain it. So at least for me, like the movement, it has that like kind of like first person stiffness that like some shooters have, which isn't like too bad. You can always like change like the settings and sensitivities and stuff and kind of fuck around with it. Um, but then like the driving is also like the steering is super sensitive,
Oh, interesting.
where it's like I feel like the sharp like any like movement on the wheel makes like the sharpest turns. So that's what really reminded me of like Grand Theft Auto, because Grand Theft Auto has that kind of like weird thing where like the driving always is pretty iffy depending on the car you get. Um, but yeah, the the tutorials in the game are fine. Um, I've kind of gotten through most of like the onboarding of the game, so I just kind of got into like, okay, what your missions are, kind of go out into the world and like do your thing. Um, some of the onboarding was okay. Some of it kind of felt a little like dragged on to me at times. Um, the the gameplay isn't too bad. The I haven't found like a gun that I'm so fond of yet. I mean, I'm assuming that's like that's natural because it's like early on in the game. I'm sure I'll find like super like big weapons later. And it's kind of the same thing where you just kind of either you can buy weapons or you can pick up weapons, and they'll have those stat values, and they'll show you which ones are better than the others and all kind of stuff. However, I told you before, I'm playing as a nomad, and I got inspired by Megalobox.
Yeah, you just told me that.
So I'm currently going for a like stamina, like strength build, where I hopefully will soon be able to just punch people. and have it be okay. Uh, but I also did run into the actual like boxing because I remember our friend Justice, who's played it so many times, said that there's actual like underground boxing. So I finally found that and started kind of like, you know, practicing my bobs and weaves and like my haymakers and stuff like that. So I'm getting a little bit of megaloboxing into it. Um, but yeah, I mean, so far it's been all right. I haven't it hasn't like sunk its teeth into me all the way yet. So I'm hoping on my next sit down where I can actually just kind of just be out in the world and explore that it might do it for me. But we'll see. Um, Besides just like doing a lot of like post game stuff for God of War, I haven't done much else as far as gaming goes. I did do a little bit of just kind of rest so so much. But Joel, I want to make this declaration today. Um, as of today, January 13th, 2003 or 2023.
Oh,
Um,
oh, whoa.
hey, we're going back in time. I've officially purchased my very last amiibo.
Oh, damn.
After this, I will not need to buy any more amiibos anymore, and that is because today they have officially released the Kazuya
Oh, hell yeah.
amiibo.
Nice.
People listen to my audio. I'm holding up the Kazuya. It's kind of getting drowned out a little bit, but being the Tekken boy that I am, I had to
Nice.
buy it, and I'm gonna put it up there with the
Nice.
big my Jin
Nice.
is hiding out over there. But yeah,
Nice.
I better not buy any more of these. I don't need any more. I
To show
bought
my
this
little
at
Moon Knight.
I bought this at a principle because of fighting games and also because of Tekken. But I wanted to make a declaration live here on the podcast. I am done, Nintendo. Don't make any more.
They're totally gonna.
Oh,
They're not gonna
Marcelo.
stop.
Marcelo's in the chat.
Whoa,
Thank you
Marcel.
for the
Whoa.
100 bits.
Oh,
Hopefully,
100
Joel.
babies.
Oh yeah, that's right. Um, I made my pre-order for my next steelbook for Wakanda
Oh, that's
Forever.
right. Fuck, I
Did
gotta still do that. Do that tonight.
you need to do that? Kind of talked about this in text a little bit, but I kind of want to say this. Wow, did they really undercut Wakanda Forever, or at least the Wakanda version?
Yeah, I don't like. I'm all for building up the homie Namor, but like that was it's night and day, and
Yeah.
very unfortunate. I was when I saw the Namor one, I was like, oh, dope. Namor's sick. Let's see the other one. I was like, oh,
So
that
to
is
to 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 give an example to everybody listening, Best Buy has been doing this thing where every MCU movie that's come out, they will have a steelbook for it. And Best Buy's been doing the steelbook thing for a lot of movies, but like MCU in particular has always been consistent, at least in the past like the past like two phases.
mhm.
Um and they recently just put on a listing for the pre-orders for Wakanda Forever. So this time they decided to have two. They have the Wakanda version and they have the Talokan version that has like Namor and like a bunch of like designs from like Talokan. The Talokan one looks 100 times better than the Wakanda one. If you look it up, like the Namor one has like Namor on the front, and it's very like artistic and very stylized, and it has a lot of like cool like Aztec like art on it. And then when you open it up, it has the winged serpent on the inside. Um, the Wakanda one, however, has a lot of clip art of the Wakandan characters like Shuri and Okoye and everybody else. on like a kind of like okay background, and then the inside is just a screenshot of the Dora Milaje jumping off the boat. And I'm just like, I know people really like Namor in this movie, but I mean, it's still Wakanda for it's like still a Black Panther movie, and I
Yeah,
feel like they got
yeah,
fucking undercut. Holy fuck.
yeah. That
It's kind of surprising, to be honest. Like, I was surprised they didn't just go like very artistic with both of them, but like it feels like
yeah, yeah,
you could tell that their focus was with Namor and Talokan.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if they're trying to build him up, they're doing a great job. Wonder if they're trying to like keep the for those who don't know, like this her we did a review on it, but Shuri takes up the mantle. Like they want to keep it a little more hush hush because they could have done some sick stuff with her suit. I think I was thinking about that today on my way home. I was like, why didn't they?
I don't know.
It just
It's very weird. Needless to say, I did pre-order the Talokan version because of course it's fucking
yeah, it's sick. Like I'm
Kukulkan
gonna get
is the fucking OG. Gotta
oh,
represent the
God.
original mutant, you know?
Oh shit, Brian. That reminds me.
Oh.
Unrelated but sort of related. Speaking of Disney, Sarah and I tried to watch Willow over the break. We got halfway.
Oh,
It's fun.
halfway. Oh
Yeah,
no.
we just fell asleep. It's not wasn't
Okay.
bad. We're
Okay.
just tired. We're
I
just
was
like
worried.
it just.
I was
No,
worried.
it's a fun fantasy adventure. It's we were just talking about it the other day. It's weird seeing Val Kilmer in almost goofy Han Solo mode. We're so used to
Right?
him being stoic and very serious
Very
and
like
stuff.
Batman-y and
Right, exactly. Like essentially Batman, but it's just like, oh, he's like he's Han Solo a little, you know. It's just interesting seeing him like that. Of course, Warwick Davis does a great job so far, and the villain so far for me is a little campy. It's also an '89 fantasy movie
it's from
from
George Lucas.
Lucasfilm. I know, so I'm just like, I have to take it like this. It's literally Vader again, I think. Anyway, so
Hmm.
far, but yeah, it just wanted to say, I know we
Okay,
said we should check
cool.
it out
Yeah.
and check out the show too. But we did check out half of it. We're almost are we halfway? I don't know. Well, we're gonna continue it later tonight. Then
Okay.
those who were into Star Wars, of course, not gonna drop this. Bad Batch has returned. We're
Oh
three
fuck, that's right.
episodes in. Last week had 2 episodes, and this week had one. And I just want to say, if you're wondering about a certain clone commander, they drop him in just so
Oh yeah,
we've
he
been
was in the
wondering where
trailer.
he's been at. I just want to. I'm not gonna say anymore, but it was a uh, there's still the effects of the Clone Wars going through everybody, and I just think that's fascinating that they're for me, at least for Star Wars, I'm never gonna get sick of them filling in the blanks. Even if they had to get rid of legend stuff, that to me is really cool. Like I like the whole picture being filled.
So I wasn't able to catch it yet. But without spoiling anything, did they mention how long of a time gap it was between season one and two?
They mention how long a certain person was stuck somewhere. That's
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Time you will know within the first 5 minutes that time has passed.
Okay.
There's been so you'll really know. I don't want to say anymore if you haven't seen any, but there's definitely adjustment.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'll definitely be grinding that out this weekend for sure. Marcelo in the chat just reminded me, since
So whoa.
uh finally got Marcelo into Marvel Snap.
Yeah, you guys have been going at it. I'm
Dude,
still resisting. I know once I'm in, it's all I'm gonna be thinking about. I just know.
like we've talked about before, mobile games hasn't always been my thing. Um, However, there's two mobile games that I will always play, and it's Pokemon Go and fucking Marvel Snap. Marvel Snap continues to be such a great card game, dude. And and that's the thing. Like Joel, I feel like as much as you're trying to resist, I feel like you should dive in, dude.
Oh, I'm already doing
There's no
Crisis Protocol, bro. I can't. I
well, no, here's
can't.
the thing. You don't need to spend any money. They actually don't
That's
they
how I get you.
actually don't they don't force you to spend any money. Um it's super chill. Games are super quick. The deck building is super simple and easy and fun. And the biggest thing, dude, once you start getting some of those points in, and then you can start upgrading the cards and changing the rarities, then you're fucking in. Because every time when you upgrade their rarity, it's super sick. They have the graphic that shows up, and then and the card changes, and it's just fucking great. And
All
plus,
right.
you have all. They haven't even like put all the Marvel characters in it, and there's Marvel characters that I bet you probably even forgot about that are in this game.
They have Agent Venom. Is Agent Venom in?
Not
That's
yet.
what I want to know.
Regular Venom is though.
Is I know Namor's in it, not the new one.
Oh yeah,
That's for
Namor's
sure.
in it. But here's the
The
thing, Joel.
first mutant.
They also have
I know Beta
variants.
Ray Bill's in
They
it.
have art variants that you can
Oh
get.
fuck! I love that
And
shit.
there's
Damn
so
it,
many different kinds.
fuckers! God damn it, Marvel, you sons of bitches.
So I'm just saying, Joel, resist all you want.
Fuck you, fuck you, man.
Marvel Snap is so coming for you. And it's gonna happen.
I
Marcelo
know,
just got
man.
into it last week, and
I
he's been
know, I
sharing
know.
deck lists with
He
us
he he
every
has been,
day.
man. He has been. He's in it.
And
He's
it's
in.
great.
He's in.
And it's
I like how
great.
he's like, these are easy fights. And he's like, oh, not anymore.
No,
That's my
legit though.
favorite.
Once you because here's the thing, you there's a season in the game, and so you have your season rank, but your collector rank is the level that you have forever. And every time you upgrade a card, your rank goes up. And that dictates where your kind of like level is at in the game. And so once you start reaching that like 100 to 150 like area, that's when the game's like, okay, Mr. Cool Guy, how about these for challenges? And that's when you start getting your ass kicked. But it's still the the method of playing the game where like every match literally only lasts for like 3 minutes, and so you can just like get a bunch of games in, knock out your dailies, knock out your seasonal challenges and shit like that. Time flies by, guaranteed.
I know.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that's my pitch. I'm just gonna leave it,
Damn it.
and then you could pick it up if you want to. It's gonna be right there for you. But yeah, I've been having fun with Marvel Snap. I haven't actually played too much because they also have a Steam like PC version. I haven't played too much. I streamed it once, and it works pretty much almost just like the mobile app, which is nice. And everything carries over on your
That's good.
account. Um but yeah, besides that, I've just been chilling, you know, surviving the rain, kind of doing my thing. I oh, so like I ever since I got my record player, I've been starting to collect all of the nerdy
Mhm.
vinyls. You've helped me increase my
Merry
collection.
Christmas, bitch.
But I found out some exciting news. So when you think of Barnes and Noble, Joel, you think of books, right? Maybe some stationery, some
Mhm.
the probably the Starbucks that's inside, maybe some board games, but um with the big like vinyl record craze that's been going on for the past like almost decade now, they've really picked up their vinyl record like sales, or like what
Mhm.
they sell. And I looked up on Barnes and Noble, and starting this year, they are putting more of an effort to push out more video game vinyls.
Nice.
And so, bruh, some of them are even fucking wild. So, the end of this month, they're coming out with the Sonic Frontiers vinyl.
Dude,
March,
that's all for you.
March, they're selling the Assassin's Creed 15th anniversary set,
What?
which has music from all the games.
That is cool now. Oh, that's cool.
Um, I found out that they have like two Tekken records, like Tekken 5 and 6. Beautiful Joe, which I fucking haven't heard that name in a long ass time. That's the thing. They're coming out with records of older games too.
Nice.
They they're selling new versions of both Cuphead main game and Delicious Last Course they're coming out with. But like, dude, the whole reason I got the record player is because video game companies don't sell CDs anymore, or they didn't really ever to begin with.
Yeah.
But since it's collector records are a collector's item now, they just print out these records. And bruh, I'm about to fucking live the high life. I have a Cult of the Lamb one like waiting to be shipped to me.
Oh, nice.
Like I'm fucking on high heaven, and I'm just having a
Hmm.
chill time, having it be a rainy day, put on a fucking record, you know, play some Marvel Snap. I'm good, dude. I've been chilling this vacation.
Just want to let you know that that's where I got yours, and it was a tie between that, the one I got you, and one of the Guardians of the Galaxy vinyls. I was like, oh, I don't know which one to pick. I was
Oh,
like, I know for damn sure you like Star Wars. I was like, I don't know if you
hey,
really like the Guardian OSTs. I was like, I know a lot of people love them, but I don't know if
there's
we
some
never like brought
songs.
it up.
There's
No, but
some songs
I've
that are
never,
good.
we've never been like, hey, we never had a conversation. I was like, I know we've talked about Star Wars. So.
But dude, Empire Strikes Back, dude. It's
They
fucking
actually had a
good.
decent collection to say we said they had a Cowboy Bebop one too. I was like, really? That's
Yeah,
dope.
they just came out
So
with it's the seatbelts came out with their Netflix collection from the Netflix show. And I bought that, of course. But I thought it was so funny because the record art is the anime characters and not the live action characters. So the only way you could tell that it was from the Netflix series is the small text that says from the Netflix series. It's like, oh no, they really don't want to show you what it was. They're hiding it from everybody. But hey,
ooh,
it's still the
so much
seatbelts.
potential.
The seatbelts are
Still
great.
the seal. Yep.
I just thought that was funny as fuck. It's like both
Yeah,
some
that
front
is
and back are anime illustrations. I was like, that's fucking great.
just trying to Netflix doing its Netflix. The way I could
Oh,
put it.
Marcelo said, looks like definitely be at PAX West this year and VidCon and TwitchCon. Maybe this year is the year that the whole crew goes mobile.
Time to go mobile.
You know, PAX West, we've been there before. We've been to TwitchCon before. VidCon, maybe.
I don't know where it is this year. I'm gonna look it up.
TBD on that. New year, new us. But yeah.
It's in Anaheim. Oh shit.
Oh yeah, yeah. VidCon's always in Anaheim. But yeah, I say besides that, like that's been pretty much most of my break as of
Yes.
that. Marcel says you guys can cuddle in my hotel room. No.
Hell yeah. I'm not paying for that shit. We'll sneak in. I don't care. We'll do some
One
Assassin's Creed shit.
one king size bed is all we need.
Man. Marcel and I shared a bed during close up in high school. And these two Arkansas boys were afraid of sharing a bed. We're like, fuck that. We've been walking all day. We put a pillow barrier next to us.
Man, we California boys, we don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's like we want to sleep. Yeah, there's like glass on the floor one of the days. Like, bro, just sleep in
What
the
the
bed
fuck?
with your friend. We don't give a fuck. We don't know you. But no. Could be done.
Oh,
Could be done.
all right, Joel. Before
Oh,
we get into some of the news topics I know you want to talk about, I just want to remind everybody out there, that of course, if you're watching live with us, thank you for watching live was
woo.
hanging out with us live on Twitch, twitch.tv/UnitedWeNerd. But of
There you go.
course, if you're not hanging out with us live, you can also listen to the audio version on podcast services as well
Hell
as the
yeah.
video version on youtube.com/at
Yeah.
UnitedWeNerd, where we always post these videos a few days after the live version. And of course, there's always Twitch. Well, I already said Twitch, but there's Twitter, there's Instagram. TikTok is still there. We're planning on putting some more stuff out this year. Hopefully, you can hang around with that as well. And I guess we are still on Hive. If anybody still is there after the big huge scare a few months ago, but we're still there too. You can hang out. ask us questions, anything, give us a comment. And of course, if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe if you can. We're gonna try to make this year bigger than the last.
Iron Lords.
And as for that, Joel, let's get into some news that we've missed. What do you want to start with first? That's the big question. I know there's some that you want to talk about. So
I want to talk about the good thing. I feel like there's a bad thing we kind of have to bring up, but I don't
there's
want
a few bad
to.
things we can bring up, and I think I know which one you're talking about.
I feel like we have to kind of talk about, like, we don't have to, but it's like very intersecting nerd culture. I'm just tired of seeing shit like that, and I'm just disappointed that I move on. But ugh,
Well, you
I
know,
don't know.
sometimes you have to take the good with the bad, and sometimes the bad is a greedy ass fucking company.
All right, start us off, Brain.
Okay, so everybody in the tabletop RPG D&D realm knows that D&D is going to be coming out with their new edition, D&D 1. It's their new edition after 5th edition. So apparently, a few days ago, apparently it was leaked. I don't remember seeing where it was leaked. The that D&D is preparing to release a new OGL for content creator or just people that use D&D as a base for their own games and their own kind of RPG settings.
Open game license for those who don't know what OGL is.
Oh yes, thank you. But pretty much when people started digging through the new OGL, there's some pretty fucking shady ass shit in there. From saying that people who make money off of their own homebrewed shit might have to start paying D&D, aka Hasbro, because Hasbro also now owns Wizards of the Coast, who makes D&D. So, and that's not the only thing. Apparently, anybody that doesn't opt into the new license agreement is kind of forced to stop what they're doing, as well as either stop what they're doing, pay them for using D&D as a base for their games, or um, choose either or. But then, of course, D&D has the legal rights to use anything that you create, which fucking sucks. Um, so, Joel, I just want to kind of get your your first opinions after finding out this news. This is like this is obviously Hasbro's doing. Don't you think? I don't.
Wizards of the Coast isn't exactly
Oh no.
100% great. But definitely with Hasbro in the mix, it's pretty damn shady and whack. Pay us, pay us. By the way, we're keeping your ideas. Fuck off. Come on, man.
Yeah, I know there's a lot more. It's a big fucking list of legal shit that I'm sure some people have gone through, but to save us time, we're just kind of going off the big huge points that a lot of people are making. But it's like Hasbro buys D&D, a company that roughly doesn't make a lot of money just based off of what it is. It is a
Yeah,
basis for people to create their own versions of Dungeons and Dragons or just
yeah,
tabletop RPGs in general. Because you have to think, um, if would think like, okay, I just won't play D&D anymore. I'll go play Pathfinder or I'll go play Cyberpunk,
yeah, yeah.
and I'm like, well, it depends because their basis is D&D. Their base of their game is D&D mechanics, and so what does that mean for them? Do they have to start paying like Hasbro and like Wizards of the Coast to keep their business running? Do they have to be forced to, totally create a new game from scratch? You know, and that's the thing. Apparently, this license agreement the was only going to give people like 10 days to figure the shit out, which is not enough time, especially if you own a business, if you own a product like Pathfinder or something like that, or like fuck, even like content creators like Critical Role or Dimension 20, like they use D&D for their
Mhm.
business. So what the fuck are they going to do? Like do they do they start have to start paying fucking Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro to keep streaming and creating content for their home, like basically their own created worlds and shit like that. Like sure they use D&D as a basis, but they create their own worlds.
Mhm.
So that's just
Trying
and
to
it,
pay off that Battleship movie. That's what it is.
oh yeah, that decade old fucking piece of shit.
Bomb.
And it creates a whole bunch of like legal like fog, cuz usually with changes to licenses like this, usually things that were set in the license previous usually get grandfathered in. But apparently
Mm.
there's like writing in this new one saying that they don't get grandfathered in and they have to opt into the new one, which is would kind of leave them in a weird legal like issue, because that's literally breaking existing contracts. So I don't know how they figured they would jump through that loophole.
They did it. They just need money.
Like literally, I've seen this.
Guys.
I've seen this opinion like circling around, and I kind of like agree, or like I understand the opinion of Hasbro bought Wizards of the Coast, so that means they bought D&D and they bought Magic. We already saw the shit show that the anniversary for Magic was when they released that like $200 set with a bunch of old classic cards that no one could use because they're not legal in the game, and everybody got mad. I know our friend Fernando got mad because it was stupid. Um, with D&D, like I said before, D&D wasn't really a thing that, you know, was generating a lot of money, just because it's like, okay, you buy the resources, but then you just start creating your own shit using
Mhm.
D&D. Well, they bought a product that wasn't making a lot of money, and so of course Hasbro was like, okay, how do we make this make money? Let's change the licensing agreement, and people that make money off of our product has to start paying us. People will be fine with that, right?
It's like someone who bought this social media site trying to monetize it almost.
Oh, it's the same. It's the same story. But yeah, I
Why?
don't.
Why?
It makes me just wonder how this is gonna go, because I don't know if they'll go back to the drawing board and fix it, or if they'll just keep going through. But I was talking to our friend Ben last night, and I thought of a situation that'd be interesting if their new licensing agreement says that anything that people create using D&D, um, Wizards of the Coast has the right to use and take those ideas. What does that mean if someone makes a, like, let's say like a campaign or their own world that's based off of pre-existing properties from another company? Like, Joe, let's say what if like for some reason you just decided to like, hey, I'm gonna stream my Mass Effect D&D, and it becomes, it becomes successful, or it becomes like at least like somewhat like popular and shit. Like, can D&D can't legally take that stuff because they can't use BioWare. EA owned properties? Like I know I'm probably like I'm probably just like pitching like this weird ultimatum that would never happen, but I'm just like the words on the paper don't leave, you know, a lot of room to like kind of, split hairs, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, how does that work? I don't know. It's a big mess and a lot of people aren't
I
happy.
mean, pretty sure Critical Role is a brand too. They can't just absorb Critical Role stuff. Like it's probably legally theirs too.
Well, that's what I always thought was interesting because like Critical Role has like D&D guidebooks based off
Yeah,
of their worlds. And I always thought like, okay, well that means like they're in partnership with them, so like they, have working relationship. But I don't know if I'm wrong or not. Like somebody that's better versed in the world of like TTRPGs, like correct me if I'm wrong, but apparently people can make guidebooks for like their versions of D&D without really having it be super involved with the company.
probably. There's probably like unofficial versions and stuff.
It's like, so I don't know what that deal is. It's a big clusterfuck that's been going on for the past few days, and I'm just pretty much just waiting to see what happens at this point.
They can do is send the Hasbro police to every fucking game store with the cease and desist, kill their market.
Ugh. You can go back to the old general format,
Ugh.
the one that's that Fallout's based off of. The complicated mess. That one's
Uh,
free to use.
quick detraction. I finished Vox Machina. That's not a mess.
Oh, just in
That's
time for the
great.
new season.
No,
Nice.
next week, saw the trailer and everything.
What'd you think?
Oh, Vox Machina, dope. I mean, it's D&D, a D&D adventure brought to life. I was committed. I loved it. At times, I felt like it was a little much, but also it's like this is exactly how an adventure would go. Why am I nitpicking? You know, like just sit back, enjoy the ride. It was fun. Very, very tropey as it should be.
Hell yeah.
So I can't wait for
Um,
more. It's stupid, fun, goofy, and of course they go in with the drama hella hard. Of course, we see our D&D super nerd himself, Matt Mercer, doing a
oh,
role. So that was always fun.
that's such one of the great things they did. Like basically like making him an NPC character, just having him in the background almost in every episode is great. Perfect
The villain, that was
implementation.
perfect.
Oh yeah, but yeah, the voice cast obviously is great, and it's
Yeah,
everybody that did it, so it just
yeah,
makes it even better. And like the spirits there, and it's just
yeah, yeah.
cool to see everything in animation. And
Yeah.
season 2 is supposed to be even better, so it's even
Oh, yeah.
a good time for animation.
This made me want to play D&D more. Well, it did. It's like, and let's just throw the mat down and shit. Let's go. Let's play right now.
I literally have in a cart a bunch of shit for Power Rangers uh, tabletop RPG,
Oh yeah.
and I'm just like trying to justify paying so much money to get all the shit that I want for it, but I know it'll be a super fun time.
As long as you know it'll be a fun time.
Bro, they have like a Zordon dice tower. I think I've
Pretty
told you
cool.
this, but I think I've told you this before, but like it's literally a dice tower that is Zordon, like the head in the tank, and then it comes with a GM like screen where the front of it is the background of Zordon's lair, so you can literally just have a set
That's
piece
funny.
like ready to go. It's great,
That's fun.
but like getting all of the shit is like almost like $200, but
Yeah,
it's
makes sense.
but it's great. And they started making miniatures too. So they have Power Rangers miniatures.
Oh, nice.
It's so tabletop RPGs can be so expensive, but so much fun.
Hmm.
Before I get away, Jameson, thank you for the resubscribe Prime
Hell
sub for four
yeah.
months.
Jameson, thank you.
That's right. We are fucking nerds, and it's a great time.
Said that.
Jameson.
Okay.
Um, so Joel, you know, we set our piece on that for now. We'll probably update it once it gets updated. But let's throw in some good stuff there. You said you had a good story to tell. Let's go with that.
I was just going to talk about the movie we saw. That was it.
Oh, let's fucking do
I
it,
mean,
dude.
I'll talk about also. I think as far as like good story, again, Destiny 2's newest season doing a great job. I like the
Oh
War
yeah.
Mine Rasputin stuff, new mission. Some of it is recycle content, but done well. Honestly, makes it fresh for everyone. And there's a new exotic mission, and they've been doing that really well. I don't know if you did it last night with Ben, Brian, but the
So I got
uh,
Revision
Sa-
Zero.
oh, there you go. You did do it. What'd you think? It's a new mission. You get a gun at the end that you can modify.
I was like, hey, people liked when they were able to go out in space. Let's do it again. But yeah, dude, the fact like I'm hit or miss when it comes to precision hits. Like some days I'm good, sometimes I'm not. But the fact that you have a pulse rifle that if you do enough precision damage with it, that you can turn it into a sniper rifle is fucking great. It feels so
Mhm.
good to do.
Oh, dude, it's cool, and you can mod it too. You can change the perk. Oh, I just
Yeah,
unlocked
that's the one thing I thought was
a lot
interesting.
today.
You can reshape it in the forge. That's fucking
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah. They learned from other gun from Destiny 1. You could change the perks on the fly. Now you could just like change it as you do the mission more. Uh, Also, Iron Banner, they do a new iteration. They've been doing very new iterations every time. I like this one. There are people like on TikTok saying we don't want to do this one. Like literally, there's like videos of matches of people not playing Iron Banner,
Oh,
which I think
really?
is right. I'm like in my head, I'm like, you're not an Iron Lord, but also it's like they're your choice. But
Dude.
the thing is, the mechanic is you capture zones. That's the same, right? But eventually, when enough points have been gathered, they do a drop pod in the middle, and turrets come out, and you shoot the turrets down. They can hurt any teammate, which I think is cool. Any team, any person on the field, and then you all fight for one zone. It's like super. Everyone like contests and has like clusterfucks and fights on that zone. I don't. I thought it was more lively, more fun. I could see how people were annoyed by all the bubbles, but there are ways to get around that. I don't
Yeah.
know. Just I
It's
thought it was cool, but you can't please everybody. So
it's a nice mechanic because it gets everybody to move away from the points. And like people like it I think the only thing that I would probably like critique about it is that I feel like the things that come from the drop pods probably should be a little bit more beefier.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
when we
yeah.
played the few matches we played, like I felt like as soon as I got to the zone, they're all dead already. It's like, oh okay, didn't really get
People
to
hella focus them down.
like, I didn't get to experience it, but it's like okay, it's still a night. I like it better than Rift. Rift
Oh
just
yeah,
got way too sweaty.
yeah. And also, there's a new dungeon out called Spire the Watcher. You get like cowboy hats and stuff, new text mechanica things, and
Oh,
of course, yeah, we should try it sometime. I've only done it once. There's an exotic drop, of course, associated with the dungeon, and it's called Hierarchy of Knees. It's an exotic bow where if you get a kill and then you basically make like a ring, it's kind of like Baptiste's square, and then you could fire a bow through or an arrow through the ring, and then like it tracks onto an enemy.
oh,
So I haven't gotten it yet, of course. I only did it
sounds like the
once, but
most intricate like weapon they've made.
one of them, yeah. So it looks really cool. The bow too. It looks very sleek, Rasputin bow. But yeah, new content this year. We still have another month till Lightfall, I think. So
It's coming
that
up.
is approaching. Yeah, and see what Strand does. Yeah, but
Strand.
enough about Destiny 2. We talk about that a lot already. Done with that. We're done. Done. But yes, moving on to something a little more lighthearted. Um, and I on Wednesday we saw Shin Ultraman,
Hell
which I've been super juiced for. We saw a long time ago. We saw Shin Godzilla. Brian actually said, "Hey, you want to see it with us?" And I was like, "What the fuck is this movie?" But at the
yeah.
time, but after thinking about it a lot and stuff, it's a slow burn, but it's really interesting because Shin Godzilla is like, what if Godzilla actually appears in our world? Like, what the fuck do people do? And it just shows how much red tape there is for everything they're
So much
doing.
like government official bullshit that like nobody
Yeah, yeah.
it shows like how lazy like the governments have gotten, and to the point where they keep trying to like skirt responsibility and skirt like, disasters to the point where it becomes too late, and then like Godzilla just like transforms and he becomes like this menace that can't be stopped, and it's like it becomes a big disaster. So um the second movie in this series, Shin Ultraman, comes out,
Hell
and
yeah.
to my surprise, because I thought it was going to be more along that vein, but
Yes.
actually it harkened more back to like the old original like Ultraman movies, which is great.
Ultraman show too. Like it literally opens like the original first Ultraman show with the little like tie-dye things coming into focus. I was like, wow, they're going all the way. They even teased after that intro, it says Shin Godzilla, and then it rips away Shin Ultraman. They tease that a little. And what's cool is it does what Shin Godzilla did, just better, honestly. What governments would do, how would they would act with giant monsters on the field, and then a new giant alien appears, and everyone's like, "What the fuck?" Like, I just love their like, "What do we do?" And they try to like gauge what to do and his energy and everything, and it's just really cool. And they, for me as a big Ultraman fan, they use original sounds for some of the monsters
Yeah.
and sound effects, which was like, wow, they're really like doing that. And then just some like they reused, of course, some plot lines, which I really enjoyed, and they even harkened back to the way they had like miniatures, like and like they would show him flying when it's like a blue screen. They lift a toy. They had like the same style of him moving like a toy, which I thought was pretty damn funny and campy. And again, same concept. What would they actually do if a super being showed up? And I love the fact like it's a man who becomes Ultraman, right? Not
Hmm.
not because he's a man, but they show that he's just a regular dude. And of course, it's in the age of social media. Someone finds out, someone records him, someone found him, and then everyone tries to weaponize him. Who is he? We need him now. We want treaties for him to fight for us before America does. And
Yep.
it's like, oh, by the way, America and Russia's spies are looking for him. I just thought that was like, wow, that's what would really happen. We need to weaponize Ultraman for us.
I
It's like,
like
wow.
that this movie proves a point to like, if we ever had contact with extraterrestrials, we'd be gullible as fuck.
Oh, that
Like,
too.
like all like a extraterrestrial needs to do is just like say it's like, hey, I'm gonna do this thing because we need to, keep the peace in the galaxy. It's like, all right, yeah, let's do it. And it's like, bitch, bitch wants to destroy everything, wants us to
That's
killed
literally what happened 2 times. It's like,
two
"Yeah, I'll help you
times.
guys." AK, you're subservient to me. It's like, "Oh."
Fuck.
Twice. Oh, man, that's
But yeah,
just
it was so refreshing because like all the things that you just said, like using old sound effects and like using old styles of filmmaking, like I feel like nowadays a lot of people would see that as either like lazy or like just like off-putting, but it actually like in this circumstance it just works so well just because you can tell that the people that created this movie had so much passion for Ultraman
Mhm,
that they wanted to do it justice, but also they wanted to celebrate what Ultraman like was back
mhm.
in its like big heyday.
Yeah,
When everybody was super into Ultraman.
yeah, and, I was literally yelling, like, there was a moment I was like, "Fuck yeah," and I was like, "Oop." I said it super loud, I was, like, super hyped, and, it's campy as fuck too. I
Oh
think
yeah.
Shin Godzilla was super serious,
Oh yeah.
and this they were like, "No, we're campy and we're gonna lean into it." Like it was ridiculous. But they lean into it. They buy into it. Even like the act, they're like 100% on board. Like it is what it is. Like
Hmm.
it's noticeable. It's a COVID movie. Some of the camera angles, some of the camera like the definition is a little off. Like you could tell like they're using like almost zoom cameras, I think, but maybe that's on purpose. But still, I think it's fun. It's a lot of fun and it's a great ode. And if you didn't know anything about Ultraman, I think it's basically showing what like the show's about and
Honestly, it's a
good
great
starting out
intro
point.
to Ultraman.
Mhm.
Like you
It
don't need
really is.
any knowledge of Ultraman to watch this movie.
Yeah. Do it helps, but it's yeah,
Yeah. And
super
then
sci-fi.
of course, the next one will be Shin Kamen Rider.
Oh, that's the next one, not Evangelion,
No,
Evangelion
I
or
think
whatever.
Shin Kamen Rider is the next one on the list of Shin movies. Um, and I'm super intrigued to see what they do with that, just because of
Yeah,
how long Kamen Rider's been around and how many iterations and all the different Kamen Riders have been.
yeah,
So I'm intrigued to see like what they decide to do. Maybe if they try to do like a rendition of like how Ultraman was like the original Kamen Rider, maybe.
yeah.
Um, but after we got home from seeing the movie, just I started watching compilations of just all the different henshins from all the henshin
Oh,
like
hell yeah.
transformation sequences from all different Kamen Riders. I'm like, dude, I can only imagine how it will be like in the movie.
Yeah, it was well done, and I can't. Yeah, again, this it makes me hyped for what's to come.
Hell yeah! Like we're getting some cool shit now.
Yeah. And apparently, Shin Kamen Rider comes out in Japan this year. So I think Shin Ultraman came out 2021 or
I think it came
two
out
in
last year.
Japan. So localization and stuff, it'll probably take another year or so. So Shin Kamen Rider 2024 probably.
Hopefully, I want to see that. I'm so
Yeah.
glad that it's becoming more common that like anime and like other like foreign movies are starting to have their own like special premieres at like movie theaters now.
Yeah, yeah.
It makes it so much fun.
It wasn't even guaranteed. I was worried. They debuted it in
That's
New
true.
York in like October, and then they went silent. I was like, no, please bring it here. I need to see Ultraman. And thank God they did. And I remember like, last month, I was like, yo, Shin Ultraman's coming next month. You guys want tickets? I was like, we can't,
Fuck yeah.
we're not losing this. We're not missing this. So yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and then they're making this extended universe. We were just like shooting the shit after we were talking about like we could see how Godzilla can be the villain and Kamen Rider Ultraman can be the foils and the heroes and stuff, but or even Shin Godzilla gives way to there's even a bigger bad. Basically, like Shin Ultraman takes care of Shin Godzilla, and then of course all the Shin Godzilla babies, Kamen Rider's there for, you know. So yeah, that's our
I
thought. Who
just
knows?
I just want Shinji to come in on Ava
God,
to immediately get their shit rocked by Godzilla. That's the scene I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for it so hard because I can see it happening. Ava's just fucking running through the city, and then Godzilla just fucking wham,
love it.
smacks him with a tail, beats the shit out of him, and
Back in the
Shin.
machine, Shinji.
No.
What I realized, we
Hmm.
haven't heard much about the Netflix Gundam movie. We've been quiet about that. Be too quiet.
They've also been quiet on the Devil May Cry anime, man. I'm fucking frustrated. I want that to
maybe they're
happen.
maybe they're trying to wrap up the Belmont spinoff, and then they're going to focus on Will May Cry.
Maybe. Although at this point, I've kind of started giving up on Netflix originals as a whole, just because
Fair.
they keep canceling so many shows. And even like shows that seemed like they're actually gaining some popularity too. Like, what? They just canceled like four this past week. And it's like, okay, they gave Wednesday like a season three, or it's not season three, season two. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, but for how long?
Yeah, I don't understand what goes on with some of these decisions. Like, it's clearly like shows I've watched, and I was like, this is clearly amazing, popular, and you axe it at it's the highest point, not even like a little epilogue or anything. It's like boom, gone. Like who?
Or
What?
they'll confirm a new season and then cancel it.
I just
Like I feel like to be honest, I feel like Netflix needs to figure out what they're doing cuz it's obviously I feel like they're doing it because of budget and they either need to roll back on having so many big money spending like originals of like adaptations of this and adaptations of that, and trying to make all these things and kind of like start to focus like on a few shows. Because I mean, Netflix like tries to pump out so much,
Yeah.
and they end up canceling a lot of it, and it's kind of frustrating at this point because it's like everything is starting to be put on Netflix. Like, you know, Pokemon, the Pokemon anime is now like a Netflix thing, which is okay. But the way Netflix distributes like their shit, you know, they'll release a chunk at once and then like leave you for a few months and then wait for the next batch to come in. That's why when JoJo Part 6, Stone Ocean got put exclusively on Netflix, they started doing that where they started putting JoJo in chunks, and it's just like it's I think we're starting to turn back to being like a once a week kind of viewing audience. Because I remember before it was like Netflix was like the new big thing, and it's like, oh, you can have all your episodes at once and you can binge everything on. It's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, fucking great. But like now, we have like the Disney Pluses where they release one episode a week, and like the HBO Maxes and stuff like that. And they give us one episode a week, but then we get to talk about it and like speculate what happens, and it makes it fun. Where
Yeah.
Netflix, it's like they release a bunch at a time, and it's just like you hear about the release, there's maybe talk about it for like a week, 2 weeks, and then nothing, and nobody cares. So I don't know. I can't say what's going on in Netflix because I'm a schmuck that doesn't know anything about business. But I feel like maybe Netflix should try to like reel back on like their releases, or at least how they release their shows and shit like that. Because maybe if they start doing like a few episodes every week, they would keep subscribers. Because that's like the one big thing. They're not keeping their subscribers as much as they would like.
Wonder why.
Yeah.
Jeez, Brian, why aren't they keeping them?
Oh,
They don't fucking cut the shows that they actually like
yeah.
or make. Sorry, I don't know if they actually like them.
But yeah, it's frustrating because you want to like get hyped for like stuff they announce, but then it's like, okay, well, like you said, like shit will go silent, and it's like, is it coming? Are we getting
Hathaway
it?
Part 2, fucking nothing. Not even like coming soon or whatever, or we have it in development or
Well, to be fair, that's Sunrise's problem. Like they're bad at giving
both.
people information about.
Both.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
don't
even
know.
know Hathaway was going to be on Netflix.
That's another thing.
Fuck.
The contracts they make are just weird. Because they'll have Hathaway on Netflix, but then like Crunchyroll gets like Witch from Mercury or Witch from Mercury or something like that. It's like, what the, okay, it's weird. I don't know. I'm not gonna try to figure it out myself because I think I'll just give myself a migraine.
Myself a migraine right now.
Instead I'll just go watch some cool anime. Like, I don't know. My Hero's pretty good right now.
Still need to finish season 4. Fuck.
Really? Holy shit!
Perpetually lost in
I'm
season.
actually ahead of you for something for once. Holy fuck!
Not that it's not good. I'm just like I stopped.
There's so much.
I just fell off, and they're on season 6 now. Fuck.
Eh,
Demon Slayer. I fell off with.
Season 6 a banger right
So
now.
I've heard. I heard season 5 is a banger.
Season 6 is even more of a banger.
I really did like My Hero. Maybe I could just binge it later next week. Back into it while I'm painting minis or something.
Roberto, thank you for the prime sub.
Yo,
Appreciate you.
thank you.
Welcome to the Nerdcast.
Hell yeah, welcome.
But yeah, dude, I don't know. It's just like Netflix right now is kind of like not giving me much of a reason to like watch it. where I can like go to Crunchyroll and like I have like My Hero, I have Spy Family, I have so many other things I can watch.
Yeah.
Even fuck Amazon is getting like some like nice shit. Like they just had their Rings of Power, which I still haven't watched yet. I
Hey,
need to go watch it.
hey, Rings of Power is a
Um,
lot of fun.
Vox Machina is really good.
Season 2 comes out next week.
Season 2 comes out next week, and they just announced that this year we're getting Invincible Season 2, which is also fantastic.
Hell yeah.
Great shit.
Boys spinoff.
Boys.
And probably the boys, they're probably wrapping filming right now, and next season will be next year.
Like, I know that Netflix just got like Glass Onion and shit like that, which is a good movie.
Fun. Oh yeah, that's what I saw too. Glass Onion was great.
Yeah.
But as you were saying,
But it's
I
like
know that's not what you were
the
going to
battle for
say.
subscription services, I hate to say it, but it's like it's really of what have you done for me lately? And then when you look at Netflix, it's like, okay, you canceled a handful of shows that honestly could have kept going. I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird business world that hopefully I don't have to ever understand fully because that it just seems annoying as fuck.
To call you up like, what do you want us to bring back? We're gonna kill Stranger Things. They would never ever do that. That's their fucking biggest moneymaker. But
Yeah.
what would you bring back?
Um oh, I guess I saw this today. So apparently, we've been seeing the debacle going on at Warner Brothers, right? Um and of course, James Gunn is heading the new DC studios and the DC universe, the movie universe. Apparently, um, there might be in talks with the director of the Batman to somehow have them keep making movies, but not have it be connected with their universe. Because I heard for a while that the Batman 2 was going to be kind of like up in the air at this point, but it seems like it's nothing official yet. But apparently, they have been having meetings to try to see if they can keep the Batman movies kind of continuing but not being involved with the DC universe.
So kind of like the Nolan Batman movies. It's
Kind of, I
self-contained.
guess. I mean, which is fine with me because the Batman movie was fucking great. We talked about it so much in our review last year. It was fantastic. So if
I
we
said
can,
it was 10 out of 10. Haven't
yeah,
seen it since. I don't think it's 10 out of 10 anymore, but it was still really good at the time, and I was not expecting DC to put out that movie. That's for sure.
yeah. So if they can figure it out, that'd be great. But yeah, dude, I the DCU is going to be interesting just because we're in that weird phase where it's like we don't know what's going to happen and we won't know until the first movie is like dropped. Like
Which one comes first, Shazam or Blue Beetle? I'm gonna find out.
that's the thing. Apparently, those aren't going to be involved because I think what they're doing right now is they're getting through the last movies that have to be made that have already been made, and then they're gonna sometime this year they're gonna start talking about what their plan is. But like, yeah, we have Blue Beetle coming out soon.
Blue Beetle
Um,
is gonna be summer. Shazam is first in March. The
okay.
Flash is gonna also be in summer
Oh
in
God,
June. Aquaman 2 is Christmas, and Joker 2 they haven't confirmed yet, according to this thing I see.
the fact that they're still making Flash.
Hey, did you get that TikTok I sent you about the Flash movie?
Yeah. So hold on, correct me if I'm wrong. Did they,
Jameson, if you're still here, did you get it too? Did I send it to you? Flash TikTok? Let me know if you did. Anyway, go ahead, Brian.
correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't they just announce recently that they decided to take out Batman from the Flash movie? Or was that the Aquaman movie?
They keep flip flopping, bro. Honestly,
I
I don't
don't
even
know
know
anymore, dude.
anymore.
There's too much going on.
Batman's in, Batman's out, Batman's in, Batgirl's dead, Batgirl's not. It's like, what the fuck? Easy.
Can we just like can we just wipe the slate?
Black Adam, I
pretend.
think, sealed the deal. I saw that shit with Marcelo. We saw half of it, and I finished it at home mode pending a mini because it was that kind of movie. I didn't even have to like give it a mind. You know,
Wow.
the first 40 minutes, it's crazy when a movie that features The Rock didn't use The Rock's charisma.
It's like the most Rock has ever acted, and it's without anything that the Rock what makes the Rock
I,
good.
yeah, the best part was Doctor Fate. He might not even
Pierce
return.
Brosnan is Dr. Fate, dude.
It didn't waste him. I'm glad. That's it. Should have called it Doctor Fate is Sick, the movie. That's what it should have been called. That was Black Adam. That's my review of Black Adam. I'm standing by that too. Like that's it.
Nice.
The Justice League was cool too. I mean, the Justice Society, whatever, the mini Justice, whatever they had, they were dope. That's it.
Yeah.
And
I, you know what? Let's just have solace in the fact that you know the movies can be a weird jumble up mess, but at least we will still have fucking the Suicide Squad. Which one am I thinking about though? You have to guess.
game? I thought that's what you were talking about.
Yeah, the game. Like honestly, like the more I see about the game, the more I'm getting hyped about it. For real. Like it's Rocksteady, the people that made all of the Arkham games, you know, they have a pretty good batting average, especially just like with the Arkham games that they made. And then you have that special juice of just like having this like interesting like world where it's like what if the Suicide Squad has to actually like go ahead and like fight the Justice League who are being controlled by Brainiac. But then also the cherry on top of it being like sadly Kevin Conroy's last performance as Batman.
Yeah.
But the fact that we actually get to have one more like go with Kevin
Yeah.
Conroy is
Yeah.
is going to be like even if the game is mid, like you have to play it just for, to
Ben
experience the
Conroy will
Batman.
never not be mid.
No, never. Never. It'll be the best part of the game for sure. But like it's weird. I'm actually somewhat excited about Suicide Squad.
I'm excited for Peacemaker season 2.
Oh, are they still making that?
I don't know. the
I
fuck
don't
DC
know.
season 2.
See, that's the thing. James Gunn,
Probably
please,
are.
please give us some information. We
I
need to
mean,
know.
he's probably doing the thing some game companies do, just go silent and try to recover with something big,
Now,
which I
see,
hate. I get it, but it's.
now see when
But does he owe us an explanation? People would say,
you
no, I
know.
guess.
Usually, in that case, I would appreciate companies like to not talk about things because then we don't get um uh Skull and Bones pushed back for the sixth time kind of situation.
Odd.
That's a whole nother situation, by the way. But it's like as messy as the DCU is, I feel like we need some kind of like information soon. Like have a DC fandom happen in like the springtime. It would just like give us like an idea of what they want to do because right now it's so confusing.
Yep.
It's like Flash is in a weird hole, Aquaman's in a weird hole. We don't know like is Blue Beetle like a part of the universe or is Shazam still doing anything even though like Black Adam I don't know if that's going to be a thing anymore. It seems like it's not cuz The Rock might be like fucking off from like Warner Brothers for a bit. I don't know.
Tell you who did fuck off, Henry Cavill.
Well, you know what? I don't feel sorry for him because now he's getting to fulfill every nerd's dream and make a Warhammer 40K show or
Yeah,
movie.
making a nerd thing about the nerd thing he likes with nerd money,
Produce and star.
right?
So I think he won out of the DCU war.
Yeah, the true winner.
The true winner. um yeah, I mentioned Skull and Bones. That's really nothing to talk about really. Like
Heard it's done from someone I know as connections. It's done. It's just like they're waiting to push it out the right time to make the most money.
It's just weird. So this game has been like in development since like fucking what 2018 maybe. 2020 they decided to scrap the original plan and start fresh and new. And then it was supposed to come out in fall of last year, got pushed back to beginning this year. Now it's being pushed back again with no release date so far. They said maybe like first quarter 2023 2024. So it could be like fall winter time. But then also along with that statement, like Ubisoft also just canceled like 4 other games that were unannounced.
Let thought, Brian. I gotta step away real quick for a hot second. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Let thought. BRB, everyone. I am so sorry. I hate to do this. I've never done this before. Fuck.
That's okay. I'll vibe. I'll vibe right now. Oh, we swap cameras. Oh shit. Okay. Well, you know, I can't I can't blame Ubisoft, right? Like they have, Skull and Bones. Like they have a weird issue because, like, because it's their Singapore studio, and they, got a grant from the government, and because of that, they can't cancel the game. The game has to come out in order to make sure they don't have to pay back you know, the government of Singapore. So the game has to come out, and no matter how many times they push it back, they have to do something with it. But like, I don't know, Ubisoft is just in a weird space where they've kind of lost track for a very long time. You know, they are announcing games that either don't come out to their potential or they kind of just disappear. Because hey, does anybody remember when fucking what was it? What's the game called? Oh my god, Beyond Good and Evil 2 was supposed to come out. They showed it up. They showed a cinematic off, but that was supposed to be a thing. It just disappeared. No mention whatsoever. Um, you know, it's kind of sad because Ubisoft had like a little while ago. Ubisoft had a lot of like cool like potential to it, but then it's just kind of gone. You know, but I don't know if I were a betting man, I I would hope that whatever they had to push it back for again was maybe just polishing, maybe hopefully, and then maybe we would see hopefully it finally releasing, because I feel like 6 times, even if it's a little bit janky, I feel like they just have to release it at this point, because now, or even more so now, like Skull and Bones has gotten the reputation of like Skull and Bones is starting to become Ubisoft's Dead Island, or Dead Island 2 to be more specific. Like a game that got announced so long ago, like a few years, under a decade ago, disappeared, got silent, got remade, still hasn't come out. We keep seeing trailers for it almost every year, and it still hasn't come out. It's just frustrating, because then you have like games like Assassin's Creed Mirage is coming out, and then you know it's supposed to be a harken back to the how Assassin's Creed was originally, and it's like, okay, we'll see how that turns out. But I don't know. It's just sad because I know Ubisoft's had their problems, and hopefully things are starting to like work themselves out, and get all the asshole people out. You know, create a better environment for the people working there, and then hopefully like start focusing up on like what they really need to do to kind of just like get back to where they used to be as far as like their credit for making games that like told a really good story and it like design wise just like look really good and being like the artsy kind of like studio that it used to be. Where now recently they just become like the Tom Clancy's Assassin's Creed studio with Just Dance coming out almost every year. And then everything else just kind of like falls away in the wayside, I don't know. It's very awkward. And it's you always want to hope. There's so many game studios out there. A lot of people working very hard to make games that people like, and then of course, one thing comes to another. Like studios have like issues and problems, and of course, you have the higher ups that are kind of worried about like the big money and stuff like that. So of course, things start to get a little weird at some places. But like for people like us that just want to play the games and play good games, and the more you like delve into it, it gets just more frustrating because you want the people to be treated right, and you want the companies to like realize like, hey, take your time, and if you make enough effort and put a good product out, then that will make people more interested, and that's why like more recently you've been seeing a lot more indie games kind of take over. Well, not maybe like take over, but like you're seeing more indie games and more indie studios kind of rise up and keep innovating, keep upgrading to the point where you're seeing a lot of indie games start to like fill in the blanks for a lot of these studios that are like these AAA studios that aren't pumping
I'm
out the same
alive. I'm
quality of stuff.
sorry.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. Sorry, everyone. Okay. All right. What I missed? Did they announce Black Adam 2 while I was gone?
No, not yet.
Okay,
But yeah,
good.
I was just talking about just kind of like the weird situation that we're kind of in right now, where a lot of AAA studios are kind of starting to buckle under like the pressure of like the big wigs, and like you're seeing how
Oh,
like
yeah.
even like smaller indie studios are starting to kind of pick up the slack, where you're seeing a lot more of them kind of shine through, which is great because like a lot of indie games now are like really good. I mean, they weren't not that they weren't good before, but like they're seeing a lot of great hits coming out
Yeah.
nowadays. But it's just sad to like see all a lot of these AAA companies that used to be very like good at what they do, and now you're kind of seeing them chasing the dollar a little bit and kind of pumping out average games or like sub-average games, or sometimes not even any games at all. I don't know.
Oh, because we were talking about Skull and Bones, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I was trying to like fill in the time while
Sorry about that. But
le-
but yeah, it just like it being pushed back for that reason is can't even have the game because people want to maximize profits. Like a game that was announced, well, I don't know, almost 6 years ago.
like around 2018. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's a weird situation. I want to say weird situation, but it's not a situation we haven't seen before. You know, and it's just sad. It's just sad. That's all it is.
Well, hopefully when it comes out at Christmas time for maximum profits or whatever, at least the game.
Yeah, but you know what? We have cool games that are coming and cool games that we've had to play with, and that's fine. And of course, we have a lot of cool stuff coming down the pipeline here, especially on the podcast. Um,
Hell yeah.
we are talking amongst us about like stuff we want to do this year. So you will be seeing some fresh new content this year.
Mm.
Um, the return of the roundtable is definitely going to be coming. We're having a few of those coming out this year, which will be fun.
Oh yeah.
Maybe hopefully you'll be seeing some other friends, some other people as well on the podcast, hanging out with us and chatting about old good nerd stuff. And of course, if you guys haven't noticed, we have been sprucing up a little bit here and there. Of course, there's still more to go around, but for those of you that are on Twitch right now, if you noticed, um, we are going to be adding some more
Yeah.
emotes. We have the new shield emote available now, and of course, we just got some new sub badges, so you can guys could rock your nerd banner high if you
Hell yeah.
subscribe to us on Twitch, which we do appreciate very much. Of course, you don't need to spend any money to you know help us out. Just come hang out with us, watch the content, do what you got to do. Spread the podcast around. Like show your friends, show
Nerd
anybody
gospel
nerd.
must reach all.
You know, help us out. We want to make each year of the podcast bigger than the last, and I feel like this year is going to be a pretty big year. We're going to be trying out a lot of cool new stuff. Of course, the anniversary is going to be coming up in February, where we'll be kind of going over a little bit more about what we want to do this year. But we just kind of want to get you guys a little bit hype up. We're doing some things.
Hell yeah.
Um, but
We
yeah,
have a new slogan too. UWN, Nerd World United.
oh yeah, oh we have a lot of cool fun stuff coming up. Just you
Yeah.
wait. But yeah, I think we're coming up on the 2 hour mark almost. So
Damn, already? Fuck.
I feel like we'll be wrapping it up here. Of course, like I said, thank you for people hanging out on Twitch. We really appreciate you hanging out with us live, and of
Oh
course,
yeah.
people watching on demand and on podcast services. Thank you very much. Of course, if you want to help us out, there's always the free way. Liking, giving us a review, sending us comments. We do love reading your comments, letting us know what you like, which even if things you don't like always helps us improve. Or if you have questions for us, there is ways you can do that. You can comment on the videos and stuff like that. But Joel, where else could they send those comments and questions?
Questions, comments, suggestions, feedback, reasons why you should not watch Black Adam, or why you should watch Love and Thunder, maybe why you should buy that sick new steelbook of Wakanda Forever, or maybe why it's a good idea to take on those Valkyries in God of War 4. Anyway, you got questions for us, comments, whatever, hit us with an email, unitedwenerdcast@gmail.com. Where? unitedwenerdcast@gmail.com, baby.
Hell yeah. We love to hear it. We love to see it. Let's all together make 2023 an awesome year to be a nerd. We do appreciate it. Of course, Joel, while we're not here on the podcast, where can they find you and your solo work?
You can find me on TikTok under Mad Mech Monster Nine. Monster Nine. Mad Mech Monster Mind. Can't even say my own fucking artist name right. On
It's a new
TikTok,
year. We're
also
greasing the wheels, greasing the
SoundCloud
wheels.
and Spotify. I actually put out an EP last month. I think it was actually a month ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friends actually liked one of the tracks, and I put it on in the background when they came and hang out. Oops. Anyway, that happened. But yeah, check me out there. I do upload videos to my Twitch, which is Acoustic Avenger. We should change that to Mad Mech Monster Man as well. Check it out. I just uploaded a video of me and my wife going through the last mission, Mass Effect 1. She went through it for the first time, and I fucking berate her as she plays it. So if you want to check that out. Yeah, and also I'm on Twitter under Acoustic Avenger. The I is replaced with the 1. Where can we find you, Brian?
Well, of course, you could also find me here on Twitch, twitch.tv/Brian Saber, as I almost hit myself with my mic. Oh, shit. Of course, I'm also on Twitter and Instagram at Brian_Saber. Um, as well as TikTok. TikTok, I am going to try to make an effort to, be on there a little bit more as, the new year comes around. New year, semi new me. And of course, I'm also on Hive for anybody that's on Hive still. Um, just hanging out, chilling, doing my nerd thing, like I always do. All right. everybody out there, thank you for hanging out with us. Really appreciate it. Twitch chat, maybe stick around a little bit. Well, maybe it's give a little chat if you want. But for everybody else out there, always remember to keep on nerding.
Ultraman, baby.